It's good to be back here in this important place for the second time. I was remembering a few seconds ago that last year we were sitting here freezing in those temperatures, and I was gazing at this plaque here in front of us, and I discovered that this memorial was dedicated in the week that I was born. In a way, I developed a personal relationship with this place. I guess it's very important for all of us to come back and visit here each year, and especially now that this place is getting its important justified place in the registry, national registry for important places like these. 6 million. 6 million is a number that swallows the victims in its digits. It drowns the lives of so many men and women, elders and children. It forces us to think about them as an anonymous group, despite each victim's dear individuality. It forces us to focus on their death, while we should really remember the full lives they loved. It forces us to look upon the emptiness of their void instead of the excitement of their potential. There in the heart of Europe, the most developed place of its time and one of the most cultured nations of the world, a people lost the meaning of life. Driven by the powerful technologies and darkest ideologies of the 20th century, a people lost the meaning of humanity and embarked upon the biggest crime in history. Today, however, we must be defiant. We must tear down the silent digits of this horrifying number. And in the words of the poet Zelda, we have to say, to every person there is a name, bestowed upon him by God and given to him by his parents. And to every person there is a name, accorded him by his stature and type of smile and style of dress. And to every person there is a name conferred by the mountains and the walls which surrounded him. And so among the victims today, we remember Benjamin Fondi, who was murdered at Auschwitz in 1944. And Benjamin wrote right before his death, "Remember only that I was innocent, and just like you, mortal on that day. I too had had a face marked by a rage, by pity and joy, quite simply a human face." And among the survivors, we remember all those who lost everything but their humanity and chose life over death. They restarted their lives and gave Israel, America, and the rest of the world so much. And such is our dear Professor Aharon Barak, the former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the State of Israel and the winner of the Israel Prize. Aharon Barak was born in 1936 in Kovno, Lithuania. He wrote, "I was 5 years old when I, together with my parents and the rest of the Jews of Kovno in Lithuania, about 29,000 men, women and children and infants entered the Kovno ghetto." But he was lucky to be one of the survivors, and when he arrived in Israel, he wrote, "The view of Haifa from the ship when we first arrived is something that I will always remember." And lastly, we remember the righteous among the nations. And in the words of the great author Primo Levi, describing his rescuer, Lorenzo Peron, I believe that it was really due to Lorenzo that I am alive today. And not so much for his material aid as for his having constantly reminded me by his presence that there still exists a just world outside our own, something and someone still pure and whole, for which it was worth surviving. And so today we remember their names and we remember their faces. And above all, we remember in the hope that it will never happen again. We remember that one day our world will be just and human for the survivors and their family. A world that for all of us will be worth living for.